friends, and welcome back. As you can see, I have a co-host this morning. I'm not sure how long she will last. We'll see. She's been kind of like in and out today. She's been overly affectionate though. I don't know why. So she's here. Anyway, welcome back. This week is going to be, well, first of all, it's still October. Yes, I'm sorry. I stopped petting. The world is going to end. It's still October, so it's still the month of Flosstube costumes. And today I am channeling my flapper vibe. But anyway, short and sweet whip update today. I have a finish. I didn't know I knew how to do those still. But yeah, I have a finish. I have a little bit of a stash update. I don't know that it's even enough to call it a haul. And then I will show you what I've been working on and tell you a little bit about what I'm planning to work on this week. If I can do that with her sitting on my hip, because she doesn't seem to have any intention of moving until I start to move, and then we'll see what happens. So first up, none of this is for you. None of this is for you. It's not edible, sorry. First thing I have is a slight update to my stash. My fabric of the month from Mystic Fabrics came in. Lexi is examining it and it has passed the test. I'm glad to inform you. But anyway, guys, Misty outdid herself this month. I am so excited about this one. This is October's fabric of the month. It is called I Descent, in honor of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And look at that, guys. I think this was originally supposed to be a website piece called Nebula, but I believe the blue that's used to make this has been discontinued. So it is a fabric of the month this month. I know it's going to make appearances. I can't remember if it's on the website or in the fabric games until her stash of blue is gone. But guys, look at this. Really, have you ever seen a more gorgeous piece of fabric? And the problem I have with Misty Fabrics is they're so gorgeous I don't want to use them. Which kind of defeats the purpose of having a fabric of the month, so that I build a stash of fabrics I can use, because every time I pull it out and I'm like, no, this pattern isn't worthy of that one. So it may be a while before I find something that I feel like is worth using this on. But actually, no, I think one of the patterns I just ordered, future stash update, I just did a pre-order of a couple patterns, I think might look awesome on that. I have to see what some of the, it's primarily black, but I have to see what some of the other colors are. I have to floss toss them on that, but okay, maybe I do have something to use it for. I don't know. But anyway, that's usually my dilemma. I own that piece of Galaxy that I've shown you guys a couple of times that I'm working on. I have had that for like a year. And it's just every time I pull it out, I'm like, no, I don't want to use it. It's so pretty. I've got to get over that because I've got all of this gorgeous fabric and I'm not using any of it. Then I go out and I buy some boring like plain blue fabric and I've got all these gorgeous things in my closet hanging up that I just never use. So I'm working on getting over that. Help me, please. Encourage me. Tell me I can do it. Anyway, I have a finish. The birth record is finally finished and I'm so excited about it. Yeah, so here it is. You ready? Pay no attention to the fabric sticker on it that I'm using to cover the last name, as always. Ta-da! Didn't it turn out great, guy? My friends, sorry, I'm trying to stop saying guys. I know that's a Midwestern thing and we like to pretend that it has no gender, but it does. I'm trying to avoid gendered language, but my friends, isn't that awesome? I'm so excited about the way that it turned out. And I have sent the picture to David Oliver's mother, and she's picking out a frame for it. So as soon as I get that, this will get a wash and an iron and a frame, and it will be an FFO and ready to go to its new home hanging in David's room. So I am super thrilled with how that turned out. So, other than that, what have I been working on? Well, since this is done, I needed a new priority project, and this is a slight difference from my October plans video. I told you guys I was planning, I told you folks, I was planning to work on Grimm's Fairy Tales as my priority project, and the more I thought about that, that just didn't make sense, because right now I am in the middle of Stitchonomy's Halloween Stitch Along, and it's releasing a square a day. So really, if you're going to do a priority project in October, it should probably be the one that's getting a new pattern piece every day. So I've decided that that's what I'm going to do, is my priority is going to be Stitchonomy's Halloween Stitch Along, and I have to get my square done before I can do anything else. This is a little bit complicated because the patterns tend to be released in, I'm not sure what time it is where she is. I know she's based in Europe. But the patterns tend to be released in the late afternoon here in the United States, and they're usually released after I've left for work. And I don't stitch when I get home from work, because that's my wind down time and everything. I stitch in the morning and in the early afternoon before I have to leave for work. So I'm always automatically going to be a day behind, except for on the weekends I can catch up. And in this case, since I didn't have time to stitch yesterday, I'm actually 2 days behind, so this is only current through October 4th, but here we go. And as you'll remember, I like to stitch frames as I go. I don't like to do all of that boring work up front when I can do it just a little bit at a time. So you can see the bats along the edges are new, as are all of the squares. And so far for the first 4 days of October, we had little witchy boots, I had a crystal ball, we had a broomstick, and we had a spell book. And then the last 2 days have been Eye of Newt and a cauldron. And I can't wait to see what today's is. But anyway, this is the one that I plan to work on a little bit every day before I do anything else through the month of October. And since Halloween is on a Saturday, and I sadly do not get trick-or-treaters here even when there's not a pandemic. Like, seriously, in 5 years I've never had one that I've lived here. I will have plenty of time to finish it on Halloween night, while I watch Hocus Pocus and dress up in my costume and have my bowl of candy just in case this is the year I get a trick-or-treater. But then my coworkers all will be happy on November 2nd when I bring a completely unopened bag of candy into work. You literally just went outside 20 minutes ago. You do not need to go out. I am sorry if you can hear her whining. She's being a little bit of a diva today, aren't you? Go lay down. I'm almost done. So continuing in my spooky vein, because October is the month that I'm going to work on my spooky projects and my stitch-alongs. I have a spooky stitch-along. This is Stitching Book Club's Frankenstein stitch-along. I am completely caught up on the reading. I am not completely caught up on the stitching, but I'm really close. So let me show you what I've got. So there you can see I have all 4 squares done. I've got a little bit of border left, one line of border under the center square, and then the complete border around the leftmost square with the guitar and the book. But I'm making progress. And the next release for this one is on this coming Saturday, October 9th. So I'm gonna try to keep up with this one. I'm really happy with how it's turning out. Gotta admit, when I first started, I wasn't too happy with it. I did my color selection. It was just a stash dive. It was the piece of fabric I had that was the right size and the floss that I thought would go with it. And I really thought it was too honestly, it kind of reminded me of ice cream, and I don't know. I don't know why, but I was not happy with the colors, and they're growing on me. It's still not the amazing, spooky thing that it could have been if I had thought about it more and not done a stash dive and just picked what worked. But it's pretty. And I like it. So, and it's my first time using completely variegated floss on a project, and that in itself is a learning experience. Yeah, wow, is it a learning experience. And since I have to stitch it English style rather than Danish, it takes a lot longer. So it's completely thrown off my concept, however limited it is of how long things take me to stitch. Let's be real, I'm not good at it even when I'm doing Danish style, but I'm really bad at it when I'm using variegated floss. So it wouldn't be a whip update without a update on my temperature stitch along. Again, like I said, this week has been crazy, so this is not completely updated, but it's almost completely updated. So here we go. This would be current through Monday, October 6th, with the exception of you'll see a little bit extra black in here, and that's because I didn't get a chance to fill in the weather. So just imagine that all of that extra space is gray, and it'll get filled in eventually. One thing that's been really nice has been that we have been in the 60s almost exclusively, and we had one day that just barely reached the 70s, and at night we've been in the 50s and the 40s. So we're starting to get out some of those blues, but we're sticking mostly in the blues and the greens, which is gorgeous looking, and it's the weather that I like. One of the reasons I love autumn. So it's starting to give that a little bit of a different look on this pass around, and I'm excited to see that continue. Of course, I say that, and then yesterday it was like 75 degrees, and today it's promising to be equally warm, so we're getting back up into the yellows. But the point is we're getting more greens than yellows now for a change. And then the last thing I need to update you on is the one that I would work on all the time if I had the option. That's the reason my priority project exists, to make sure I actually get things done that need to get done. And that is the Dark Queen of the Seas stitch along. I'm not very far, as you can see. I'm not even completely done with September's release because that was the 3 fish. But I'm a lot further than I was. So I have 2 fish done. That's Ruth and that is Sonia. And I've got a little bit of a start on Elena. This little pink bit over here in the corner. And one of the cool things about being behind, if you look for silver linings, is that I got to actually stitch in some of this fill in between the 2 fish instead of counting out. And obviously the longer a line is that you have to count out, the harder it is to make sure that you get it right. You're more prone for mistakes to happen. So and I guess a side note while I'm talking about this, one thing you'll notice is I don't grid. I can see the utility, and I totally respect people that do, because first of all, the amount of time you put into prepping a project is really impressive. But I thought about it, and when I look back, when I make mistakes, it's usually not because I counted wrong on the fabric, it's because I counted wrong on the pattern. And I use the grid lines on the pattern to try to count out, but I'll need to go out 7 in actuality, but for some reason when I count the pattern I'll get 6. And I'll go out 7 on the fabric, but I needed to go out 6. And usually, yeah, if I've made the mistake, it's when I counted the pattern, not when I counted the fabric, because I usually double and triple count on my fabric. So yeah, so when I have some of these larger areas that I have to count across, it's a little bit more difficult, and so it's kind of nice to be able to fill in some of the color. Plus, it's just, aren't they pretty colors? That navy and that purple. This is going to be the torso of the Dark Queen. So this is as far down as we go, and then we're gonna move up here to the hips and the torso, and then obviously have my one little fishy. So hopefully I'll be caught up by November 1st. We'll see. But yeah, it's just gorgeous. And the 2 new patterns I just ordered are from Autumn Lane because I love their patterns. So, like I said, that's it for this week. I haven't really had a chance to work on the Knot Webinar shawl. I haven't really had a chance to work on my crochet, which I just realized I haven't shown you anyway. But it's upstairs, so next time. I'll try to remember next time. It's not really that impressive. It's literally a partial square of single crochet because that was my first project that I decided to do with crochet. Was always going to be super simple. So there you have it. That's my whip update. This coming weekend is a long weekend, but I do have to go in to work and do some overtime. I think I might have someone coming out to work on my house for the HOA, so that might cause some distraction, and then we know things always come up. But because of the Columbus Day holiday on Monday, I do have a little bit extra time. Hopefully it'll be better than Labor Day, where I got where I actually got less done than I normally would get done on a weekend, even though it was longer. So yeah, hopefully I'll have some good progress for you next week. Maybe I'll even get finished with some of these, and I can actually work on my spooky projects that I showed you, my 2 witchy projects. But I do have one other one that I haven't shown you this week because I didn't get anything done on it, and that is the Everything is Fine, the Good Place Stitch Along. That is going to be something that I definitely get around to starting this week. So there you have it. I hope you guys all have a great week. And as always, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you next time. Bye.